A lot of people talking about the nerf this past month on the ARES and you know, the meta for the while that's been in the Star Citizen scriptures was the ARES was, you know, the here's the thing. I'm going to say this before I even play the video about the ARES. Let's not all be fooled here. Cloud Imperium knew that it was going to be a cash grab. They knew what they were designing. Strapping on a size 7 gun to a fucking small ass frame. They knew exactly what they were doing. They didn't worry about the balance of it. There's plenty of gamers that are developers in Cloud Imperium that realized once this inception of the ARES, and I talked about it from the very get-go. From the very get-go, the ARES hit. I said, oh shit. Oh, we're going to have issues with this one. I knew it would sell off the fucking Richter. I knew that there would be like tons of people handing over cash for this ship, but I knew what was going to happen to this. And don't be fooled. Don't have the wool pull over the eyes here. They knew it when they fucking made the ship that they were going to pull in a shit ton of money and they'd have to worry about balancing. Be damned to balancing. The second they made the ship, they said, be damned to balancing. We're just going to take the fucking money. I mean, let's just say it like it is. It reminds me of the Cutlass Steel. It reminds me of the same thing they did with the Cutlass Steel. And the more ships they start bringing into the game that are designed this way to take your money, the more I start to worry about the overall balance of the game in terms of PvP. Okay, let's just keep it real here. All right. I don't want to jump through fucking hoops here and dance around, do a whole fucking pony show for everyone here. Let's just break it down and put some truth bombs out there. Let's not be. I saw. I think Montoya's stance on it. I got a little bit of Montoya here. This guy here, his name's Gypsy Ronin. We're gonna watch both videos here. We're just gonna hit some highlights on this. But like, let's not be fooled here. In my eyes, it's like some people are saying, well, they didn't know they would deal with this down the road. Of course they did. This is what gamers do. They find the exploit, they find the meta, and then it trickles down to everybody else. This is the way it's happened in every other fucking title since the very beginning of time. Is the people that love the PvP, they try and find the meta first. They find the meta first, and then it trickles down through the fucking community. And that's the way it's in every fucking title since the beginning of time. It's the responsibility of the fucking developers to make sure they're not putting too many fucking game-breaking designs into their game. And I can say it about the Cutlass Steel now. I can say it about the ARES. I can say it about 2 of these ships right now where they're kind of like putting these in there. They want to suck the fucking money in, and then they'll go, okay, well, we'll figure out about balancing later. And then the very core design of these ships that you're pledging for, right, or you're buying, they change over time because then they get nerfed, and it's be damned the balancing is kind of the mindset that I see from developers. Okay, so that's my stance on it before we even start watching any of this shit. Okay, let's just see what's going on here. So I really dig the whole format that I'm seeing here. Let's just see what's going on.
The perpetual meta in Star Citizen is real, and
it's always going to change.
Going anywhere.
Right,
let's discuss that.
Always going to change. This guy's name is Gypsy Ronin, by the way.
Welcome back. My name is Gypsy Ronin.
800 subscribers.
Star Citizen is a space sim. It also largely features many major components of an MMO and an FPS. The majority of our interactions will revolve around the MMO aspect, and because of that, and its relevancy to the topic, I will be leaning on my previous 15 plus years MMO experience. While these particular titles were not space-based games, it does not invalidate how we as gamers react in games when there are aspects with boosting one's ability to dominate. So some of my references will be from my long experiences in World of Warcraft, and as such, Blizzard Entertainment. Recently, we had the Ares Ion receiver nerf. Yes, and I apologize. I did not want to bring it up, but here we are. This prompted many discussions on the forums, as well as videos from content creators. In short, the ARES was a cool idea, but I feel a bad idea. It never should have existed, but was an easy ship sale. The bespoke nature of it makes it impossible to ever really get that balancing just right. And so far, the only way to bring balance seems to reduce its overall burst damage, as well as make sure
it's a fucking size 7 on a small frame ship. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people would think that it's not a cash grab. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, how could you look at that and say that? I said this when the fucking ship first came out, and then I said, watch is going to get nerfed. Don't buy it because it will get nerfed. And then it got nerfed for a little bit, and then it didn't. And this is going to be something that's going to happen in the community. This is a switch that will be flipped on and flipped off and flipped on and flipped off like numerous times, depending upon the community's fucking attitude and the temperature.
Its accuracy is severely hampered. Originally, I myself went for the Inferno, as the ballistic aspect and its ability to do component damage.
I went for the Ion.
That, and the fact that it was obvious a fighter with a
Absolutely
massive
agree
size
too,
7
Explodo.
weapon attached to it was going to do insane damage.
Right.
Sold as a capital killer, this was not the reason I got the ship. To pull from the film Apollo 13, I believe the line that echoed in my head was,
I don't care what anything was designed to do. I care about what it can do.
and that's why the ARES was always destined to be the new meta at release, beyond being just a new hobby.
And that's the mentality of any like gamer that is involved in the PvP trying to find the meta. It's like I've seen it so many times, like with different builds in different MMOs where people say, oh, you got to try this build because everybody's doing it and this is the build. Well, that comes from somebody who tries something different, finds what the meta is. And I've seen people who I used to know Athene, and I used to remember how this motherfucker would sniff out the fucking meta like no other person I've ever met on the entire fucking planet. You know, I know Athene gets a lot of fucking shit for everything, but personally, when it comes down to it as a gamer, the guy fucking sniffed out meta like a bloodhound, man. He could sniff out a fucking meta like a pig looking for truffles, man. He would just find, people would say, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing this? This isn't the way you fit this. And he would do it in a way where it would fucking change the game. He'd find it. That's what they do. That's what gamers that are hardcore do. They do different things until something clicks and they say, holy shit. And they find the exploit, and then that exploit becomes the meta. That's how it fucking works, guys. And then it filters down. But what I'm trying to say is it doesn't help when the developers instantly push and all they're worried about is the fucking cash grab from the get-go, and they're putting in items or ships that really kind of destroy the balancing mechanism. It's a very fragile fucking ecosystem to create like a balance in the game when you're inserting a size 7 weapon on a small ship.
That motto is how I believe the vast majority of backers think when
What's up,
planning out their
Anarchy?
fleets. Such as the
my
case,
mod,
for
it's my
example,
boy,
with
Anarchy.
the Bandit Merchantman. It was designed to be a merchant place where you would sit down and sell your goods. But what can it do? Well, we know that it is heavily armed, heavily armored, and basically has a hull C's worth of cargo that is internally protected. Some will use the merchant aspect, yes, but most will be using it as a highly defendable cargo hauler, much like the M2. Many got it because they saw it was a more armored C2 to try and better protect their investments. So again, it wasn't about what it was designed to do, it's about what it can do. Many got the ARES to lay smackdown not just on larger ships, but to also, well, be able to steamroll the smaller ships. And it did that, because that's what a size 7 weapon will do to a small ship. The PvP aspect is where things get a little dicey.
Exactly.
Montoya of Test Squadron had recently mentioned nerfing these took away the ability to have their lesser skilled pilots take on more skilled pilots. And I do see that side of the argument. I really do. I also see the top pilots simply staying with the most dominant fighters to do the maximum.
Well, and he's part of Test, and he just wants that ship to just fucking dominate with, you know what I mean? So that's a Montoya thing. Let's see here. Let's see what Montoya is saying here.
Why we bought this ship. It was sold to us as a long-range sniper, a very precise, very accurate, high alpha damage sniper ship. And what did they do? Well, let's jump over to the PTU 3.16. I know what you're saying. I'll get to it. Look what they did. Look what they did. They increased the rounds per minute from 38 to 110 rounds per minute.
They nerfed the alpha,
and
I
it's
think.
3,850 DPS. A little more DPS. Where's the nerf, you say? Look at the alpha. 2,100 alpha damage. Why? Why, CIG? Why do you do this? Now,
And you know, the thing is they do it for the cash. It's not, this is not a difficult thing to see here, everyone. SIG does it for the cash, man. And they gotta be put to accountability on this shit. More content creators have to point this out. They need to be put in front of the public and say, hey, you guys are accountable for putting a game-breaking design into this that makes it very hard to balance. Because then you get people like the org leader of Test here, Montoya, who's pissed off now because it's been in the game and they've seen what it could do. They found the exploit, they found the meta, and then it gets nerfed, and then he gets upset, and he's asking, why are you doing this? Here's the answer, guys. It's the cash. The answer is the cash. They knew when they were designing this, they bring in tons of cash, and they said, be damned the balancing. Be damned the balancing. So I here's the thing. I don't need to watch anymore because I understand it. I understand it at its root core. I understand what's happening here at its very root core in game development. I've been following game development for 10 plus years. And I can tell you, this comes straight from the developer. It can be game breaking. The more items in a game are put into a game, they're designed simply to bring in revenue and profit. And be damned the consequences of balancing. It breaks the game eventually. So what ends up having to happen? People like myself have to call the developers out on it. And other people have to realize what the true problem is. And it's greed. So that's all I have to say on kudos to Ronan. Go subscribe. I'm going to like the video, but I don't need to watch anymore because this is what the issue is. Gamers are always going to hardcore gamers are always going to find the meta. They're always going to find the meta, also called an exploit. Sometimes the exploits stay, sometimes the exploits don't and get nerfed, okay? But the root of the problem comes down to developers putting in items in a game that are simply there to pull in as much revenue as they can because of greed. That's what it comes down to. I'm going to like Montoya's video as well, but I answered the question as to why this was nerfed. Because it's just put there to make money, guys. It's a size 7 fucking weapon on a small ship. End of story. Said it years back when we got the ARES announcement. I said this many moons ago when the fucking ship first came out. All right, back to the show.